Hey, what's up, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about pros and cons, well, some pros and cons of hiring a tax professional versus doing your own taxes. And hopefully, you can find some value in the information I've researched. I'll go ahead and get straight into the details. First, we're going to cover the pros of hiring a tax professional. And at the top of the list, we're going to go with expertise. Tax professionals are trained and experienced in tax law, regulations, and procedures. They can provide you with accurate and up to date advice on tax matters, which can help you save money and avoid penalties. That's very important because you don't want to get any penalties. You don't want to get audited and find out later on that you owe taxes for something that happened a few years back or you didn't do it correctly. And that would be where a tax professional will come in for something that you probably don't understand, if it's a stricter tax code or if you have a large business and there's a lot of information that has to go into it. The tax professionals will more likely know the law that you need to follow for doing your taxes in a particular way. Next, we're going to go on to time saving. Preparing your own taxes can be time consuming, especially if you have a complex financial situation. By hiring a tax professional, you can free up your time to focus on other important tasks. That's another good one because if you have a tax professional while they're working on the taxes, you can be working on whatever else you have to do. And also, another way that it will help you save time is if you don't know how to do the taxes that you're trying to do, it will take you a longer time to do something that a tax professional that understands it can do in a shorter amount of time. So that's good as well. We're going to go down to reduce risk of errors. Tax professionals have a keen eye for detail and can help ensure that your tax return is error free, which can prevent audits, penalties, and other issues. Risk of errors is also going back to what we say about avoiding any type of audits or owing on any taxes that you've done in the past and it comes back up later and you owe on something that you didn't do correctly or just didn't understand. So the reduced risk of errors is going to go down as a pro. Peace of mind. Now, this is something that is very important. Peace of mind. Know that your tax return was prepared by a professional can give you peace of mind, especially if you have a complex financial situation. The tax professional can do the more complex taxes or tax returns or provide the correct information to do the returns rather than you doing it on your own for something you do not understand. Audit assistance is the one that's next on the list here. If you are audited by the IRS or your state tax authority, a tax professional can provide you with assistance and represent you during the audit process. That's very good as well. If you are audited and the IRS or your state government has gone over your taxes and they figure that there's something that's incorrect, you can have a tax professional go over it as well to give you information on the tax law, the tax codes that will be needed to help you in a particular situation. So that's going to go down as another plus. Complex financial situations. If you have a complex financial situation, such as owning a business, rental properties, or investments, a tax professional can help you navigate the complexities of tax law and regulations. That is very good. So a lot of this is coming down. A lot of the pros, it all is seeming to come around knowing the tax code and knowing how to navigate the tax laws. So that's going to go down as another plus. You want to make sure if you have a large business, if you have a complex financial situation, a tax professional would definitely help you out when it comes to understanding the tax laws and do using the proper procedures to submit the taxes. Next on the list, we have advice and planning. A tax professional can provide you with advice and planning to help you minimize your tax liability and maximize your tax savings. That's a very good one. To maximize your tax savings and to minimize any liabilities when doing your taxes. So that's going to go down as a pro as well. Professional network. Many tax professionals have a network of professionals such as attorneys, financial planners, and insurance agents that they can refer you to for additional assistance. Networking is always a plus. And having a tax professional, they will have other uh, professionals that they network with that will be able to help you if you need that help. So, those are some of the pros of hiring a tax professional. I think those pros are very good ones. And if you have the type of business that requires you, or you think you'll be better off hiring a tax professional, then you probably should. Or even if you just feel so for whatever reason, those are some of the pros. I'm not saying those are all of the pros, but those are just some of the pros that I researched and I put together for someone that, if you want to look around and see, well, what are some of the pros of hiring a tax professional? There goes some of them there. Now, we're going to go to the cons of hiring a tax professional. Cost, right on the top of the list. Hiring a tax professional can be expensive, especially if you have a complex financial situation. However, the cost may be worth it if the tax professional is able to save you money on your taxes or prevent costly mistakes. So, right up front, the cost may be a con. However, even if it has a higher cost, saving you problems and saving you a peace of mind will be beneficial along with the cost. It'd be better to pay for it and avoid any problems than to not pay for it and have a lot of problems or any problems. However, if you don't have the finances to cover the cost, this can be a con of hiring a tax professional. Now we have limited control. When you hire a tax professional, you are entrusting them with your financial information and tax return. This can be uncomfortable for some people who prefer to have full control over their finances. It does. I can understand that. You're gonna have to trust someone else to take care of your financial business, and that limits your control on doing things. However, if you do entrust the right person, the right tax professional, you should be fine. However, if you entrust the wrong person to handle your taxes and it can create a problem in the long run, then that will put this down as a con when it comes down to limited control. What we're going to move down to is communication issues. If you have a tax professional who is difficult to reach or does not communicate well, it can be frustrating and lead to misunderstandings. This can go down as another con. And this is solely on the person that you're dealing with. If you have a good tax professional that's going to stay in contact with you, they're not too busy, they can answer your questions in a timely manner, which is beneficial to you and what you're trying to do, fine. But what if you get a tax professional that is super busy, you have questions that they're not able to get to and answer right away, or they're lackadaisical for with your tax returns for whatever reason? That is definitely going to go down as a con and can cause huge problems if there are a lot of misunderstandings with your taxes. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to dependency. By relying on a tax professional to prepare your taxes, you may become dependent on them year after year, which can limit your ability to learn about and manage your own finances. Well, I can see how that can become a con. If you do have someone doing your taxes year after year, you will become dependent on them. However, if you're taking care of business and you do not want to focus on the taxes, it'll work out for you. But for someone that They don't have a big business. It's just their own personal income tax, a W-2. They probably could have learned it on their own, but instead they hired someone to do it year after year. Then I can see where this can become a con. Lack of transparency. Some tax professionals may not fully explain their process or the decisions they make on your tax return, leaving you in the dark about how your taxes are being prepared. That that can definitely be a con. If you have no idea how your taxes are being prepared, you don't understand what they're doing, and they're just doing whatever it is that they have to do, but you don't agree with it, and then you figure out, yeah, that can go down as a con. Limited knowledge of finances. A tax professional may not have full understanding of your financial situation or goals, which can impact the tax strategies they recommend. I can see that being a problem. So, for this kind of con, it would be very important to speak with your tax professional and going back to transparency and figuring out if they can do exactly what you're looking for before you hire them. So this is could definitely go down as a con, but hopefully this information here can you know, this list can help you to avoid some of these cons. Limited availability. During tax season, tax professionals may be busy and have limited availability, making it difficult to get timely assistance or ask questions. Limited availability. We did go over that a bit. Just if you can't get in contact with your tax professional and you have something very important you need to add into your taxes or something you need to remove or something you forgot to mention and you can't get in contact with them, that can cause a huge issue in the future. Quality of work. Not all tax professionals are created equal, and some may provide lower quality work or make mistakes on your tax returns. And that just goes back to a little bit of when I mentioned the person that you actually hire. It's gonna go down to the person. And that's in almost any business or almost anything that you do. When you're dealing with someone, you want to find someone that fits what you're looking to do to the best of your ability. Because if you don't, then you can have issues and you can have problem with whomever you're dealing with your business. So if you do hire a tax professional, you want to probably review their quality of work, see if they have any reviews or any testimonials, and that's with any business before you go ahead and hire someone to do your taxes or anything else in business. But that does go down on as a con because if you get poor quality of work, you will not be happy. You will be dissatisfied with your taxes. Now that was the pros and cons of hiring a tax professional. Now we're going to move on to the pros of doing your own taxes. And let's see what I have in store for you here. Cost save. By doing your own taxes, you can save money on your tax preparation fees. You can definitely save money on your tax preparation because you won't have to pay as much as paying for someone else to do it for you. Control. Doing your own taxes give you full control over your financial information and tax returns. So this way you can do your returns the way that you want them to be done, file everything that you need to file and do not file things that you don't want to file. So that'll be, excuse me, very much a pro. Learning opportunity. Preparing your own taxes can be a great learning opportunity, especially if you have a relatively simple financial situation. It can help you better understand how taxes work and how to manage your finances. That's a very good one because as you continue to do anything, you learn more about it, you figure it out, it becomes easier, and you get more information. And if you do your own taxes, you'll get more familiar with tax codes, it'll become easier to do your taxes, and that's where the learning opportunity comes in. And that would definitely be a pro. Now we're going to move on to flexibility. By doing your own taxes, you can work on them at your own pace and on your own schedule. That's very important because when you can work on something on your own schedule, you don't have to rush it. You can wait for certain information to come in, you can make changes, and then you can submit it in a timely manner. Access to tax software. There are many tax software options available that can guide you through the tax preparation process and provide you with support and advice. It's going to go down as a con. Oh, sorry, as a pro as well. You get yourself a good software, they can take you through the steps, and you can use them to prepare your taxes. And sometimes they even have pre-filled information where you can take pictures of your W-2s. All the information gets uploaded. That way you don't have to do too much of it. So a good software can help you with your taxes and make it a pro of doing your own taxes. Increase understanding of finances. Preparing your own taxes can help you better understand your finances and how they impact your tax liability. That's very good because the more you understand finances, the more you understand your taxes, the easier it becomes to do it and the better you become at it. Increase control over your finances. By preparing your own taxes, you have more control over your financial situation and can make informed decisions about your finances. That's a very good pro to have increased control over your finances. I think that doing your own taxes will definitely um, give you that control that you need over all of your finances. Ability to catch mistakes. By preparing your own taxes, you're more likely to catch errors or discrepancies in your financial records, which can help you correct mistakes and improve your financial management. That is very good. You always want to be able to catch mistakes when it comes to doing anything, but especially your finances and also doing your taxes. Now we went over some of the pros of doing your own taxes. Hopefully that list was good. Now we're going to go on to the cons of doing your own taxes. And at the top of this list is complexity. Preparing your own taxes can be complex, especially if you have a complex financial situation. It requires a good understanding of tax law regulations and procedures, which can be difficult to learn. So it's a little bit of the opposite for the pro. Some of the pros of hiring a tax professional. The cons of doing your own taxes uh, it's kind of the opposite of that. Time consuming. Preparing your own taxes can be time consuming, especially if you have a complex financial situation. If you're trying to do your own taxes for something that you don't understand, or it's quite difficult, or it's your first time, it's going to take a long time. So that will go down as a con. Risk of errors. This maybe should have been at the top of the list. If you make a mistake on your tax return, it can result in penalties, interest, and audits, which can cause a big problem, especially if you have something planned, you're working on your goals, you're doing things, and then you get audited and you realize you actually owe money. That can really change all of your plans and even mess up your savings if you have something that you need to do at the time that happens. Stress. Ah, what a word. Preparing your own taxes can be stressful, especially if you are not confident in your ability to do so accurately. Oh gosh, if you don't know what you're doing, it will create a lot of stress. Or if you just, find something that you're trying to do, you don't understand the tax code, you don't understand the tax law in that particular moment or that particular topic, it can create a lot of stress. And hiring a tax professional can help you relieve it in a situation like that. Limited expertise. If you're not familiar with tax law regulations and procedures, you may miss out on valuable deductions and credits or make mistakes on your tax return. Yeah, that would definitely go down as a con if you realize you did your taxes and then a professional says, "Well, hey, if you have done this," or if someone mentions, "Hey, if you would have done this, you can have saved more, or you can have deducted more." Then you'll feel like, "Wow, I should have hired someone to help me do this." Which takes us to limited support. If you have questions or issues with your tax return, you may not have access to the same level of support and assistance that a tax professional can provide. So you want to make sure that You get support if it's something you don't understand, but if you're doing it on your own, you would not be able to get that support. Risks of audits and penalties. If you make a mistake on your tax return, you may be subject to audits, penalties, and interest charges. So it's very important not to make any mistakes on your tax returns. And if you feel as if you're doing something and it's becoming difficult, time consuming, you're not able to understand it, you probably should get a tax professional to avoid any problems. Because if you get audited and you end up owing, it will come to haunt you at a time that may be very inconvenient. Lack of time or motivation. Preparing your own taxes can be time consuming and may require a significant amount of motivation and discipline to complete accurately and on time. So if it's difficult, if there's something you don't understand, you probably won't be as motivated. It's going to take up a lot of time. That's when you may say, well, I need a professional to help me with this. So that's just a list of some of the pros, some of the cons of doing your own taxes and hiring a tax professional. Hopefully, you found the list that I've created helpful. Hopefully, it creates some value and lets you to get a good idea of weighing out doing your own taxes versus hiring a tax professional. And if you did find the content informative, please hit the like button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions, concerns, or something I missed out you think I should have added in. If you think the information may be valuable to someone else, share it to whom you think it may be valuable. And if you like the content on the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.